Welcome aboard and welcome back. How are you, brother?
Hey, doing my part to help keep the show sexy, man. Anything I can do to help. You know me.
Hey, and you add a lot to that category. And we're needing it. We're lacking. But we have the sunshine, and that's nice. Everybody can get out and enjoy. But it won't be long before a lot of people will be inside basketball gyms all summer as well, or whatever else that they have going, baseball fields, lots of all that good stuff coming up. Good thing we don't have betting on Little League Baseball. Have some 6-year-olds out there cutting run shaving.
You know, it's funny that this is somehow surprising to a lot of folks, or at least it's funny to me. You know, since
how is this not going to happen? There's no
since
way
humankind started betting on things, they started manipulating the outcomes of those events. That's just the nature of humanity. People are always going to be trying to cheat whenever there's money involved. And now that betting has proliferated across the country, with all the online sites and whatnot, and college has gotten more and more action in that arena. Lo and behold, people can try to cheat on college games too if there's some betting involved. And now we're finding out that one of the easiest ways to cheat is to get one of the participants in on the action. And lo and behold, come to find out, when you pour bazillions of dollars into the technology in that area, it makes it even easier to catch the cheaters. So I wouldn't be surprised if we've got a couple waves of these revelations over the next couple of years. I'm guessing this is probably the onset of the first wave. We saw it was a couple weeks ago in Alabama. Some knucklehead over in Cincinnati was placing some bets, and it was really easily traced to a coach down there at the Crimson Tide. Now, lo and behold, a good percentage of any college athlete in the state of Iowa is not necessarily been playing on the up and up, perhaps. So I would imagine compliance departments across the country are buzzing right now, doing audits, doing re-educational training with everybody. And who knows what the outcomes are going to be of all these various investigations, but it certainly appears that the great college betting scandal is having its day, and like every other sport, people probably soon going to realize it ain't worth it, because no matter how sharp you think you are, chances are you're going to get caught when you try to throw games or manipulate the outcomes in favor of a betting interest. So college, who says it's amateur athletics, man? This is the big leagues. This is how they do it in the pros. So glad to see college having its day in this area, and hopefully it cleans up some stuff and makes it a fair competition for everybody involved.
Yeah, we have to say how quickly, as you pointed out, the Alabama baseball mess was within just like that, boom, 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 within days. Not only was it was caught and the whole process figured out with the guy. But the saddest part of all is a coach being involved, and not only just a coach at a giant school like Alabama. They don't need the damn money. The baseball is gigantic in the South. Why him getting involved in that is a little surprising, but money does things to people, I guess. And these were not small bets, and that's different. That you got a coach involved there, that's a sad thing in and of itself. But these players, not that that's not sad. Who doesn't see, like you said, who didn't see that coming? My God, you think you're going to control how many Division I athletes are there? My God, there's 300 Division I basketball teams. So I can't imagine how many different numbers of people you have out there that have to be watched. But that number has just exponentially grown, and it seems like they're still catching them some ways. But what about the ones they're not catching? Maybe. I think we lost Chronic again. We'll wait to get him back. But yeah, that is.
I'm still here. Can you guys hear me?
Okay. Yeah, there you go. I was just the scare of these players getting involved, and even though hopefully this is a a way for people to see that this is not a good thing to do. But children are not always the smartest. I shouldn't say children, kids, youngers.
It's one of those situations where a lot of folks probably rightly express concern as legal gambling really proliferated. And the technologies that make it so incredibly easy now to place a wager on your phone or your computer or whatever. I speak from experience. My family's Irish Cherokee. Addictive personalities are kind of what we do and what we're made out of. And I'm aware of that. I'm the first male in my family never to have to really battle those things or have those consequences, dramatically affect their life. Fortunately, my father was able to course correct and put our family on a different track, but recognizing certain personalities are going to be more inclined to compulsive behaviors, whether it be drinking, various other vices. But as we know, gambling certainly one of those. And it's not real hard for people to get in a situation where things get out of control really quick, and massively out of control. When you start talking about, how easy it is to take all the money you've earned up and put it in an account, and the ball just goes the wrong way, and next thing you know, that money's gone, and you still got bills to pay. So people get put in bad situations, and that tends to lead to more bad choices often. And I think that's likely what you see, perhaps in Alabama. And in other areas, where people just think it's easy money, kind of like the crypto world. Everybody saw this cash being made by the wheelbarrow load, so everybody wants to jump in on the action. Lo and behold, it's there's no such thing as a sure thing. So it's real easy, and I've seen it with some of my coworkers, some of my friends, where what was just a little side habit, and all of a sudden you're gambling away paychecks or greater, and things can spiral out of control really quickly. So unfortunately, that's the case with some gamblers, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of folks, whether they be players, coaches, whomever, not unlike the rest of us, tend to get caught up in that that allure of some easy cash. Without necessarily considering all the consequences. So, as we've seen in professional sports, even here recently with the Detroit Lions, from the accounts of what's happened up there, a lot of guys thought they were playing within the rules by placing some bets. Come to find out, that's not the way the league saw those rules, and now the consequences are proven to be pretty steep. All things considered, when you consider how much money those guys make over the course of several games or a season. So, unfortunately, we'll probably see some athletes that have similar lessons. They get passed down from either state regulators, schools, or the NCAA, the conferences, what have you. And somebody's got to be the test pilot. Somebody's got to be the first case that comes forward to kind of set the precedent that everybody else is going to learn from. So hopefully, there's a lot of learning taking place right now and re-education about what is and what isn't permissible, and they figure it out, because it's unfortunate. You hate to see it. But it's just a part of sports around the world. Always has been, probably always will be. But now it's come to visit the college athletics world. And like I said, man, I think we're probably just at the cusp of this wave. I wouldn't be surprised if you see similar issues pop up at schools and conferences all over the country, just because people are people, man. They're going to make mistakes, and in this day and age, it's just incredibly easy to make some bets. And when you're one of the participants, it can be awful tempting to maybe put a couple extra bucks in your pocket and help somebody out. But man, it's just not worth it. It ain't. The smartest bet I ever makes the one I don't place.
You got that right, because you never lose money. Never lose money on that. Yeah, hopefully though we get that straightened out. Indiana still looking to fill a couple of roster spots, and there's a lot of conversation this morning about how that sometimes these agencies like CAA that are brand agencies, not like NBA type agents, and players are allowed to have brand agents of the sort, but that these guys are really starting to control where some of these players end up, and that's making recruiting even more difficult. Not that it hadn't already gotten there because of NIL, because of the transfer portal, et cetera, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, that's, I think again, this is a different vein, but the same conversation of the maturation of college athletics in the modern era. Um, folks have always sought representation for issues that are bigger than their experience, their backgrounds, their expertise. And professional athletes, they've got agents, they've got advisors, hell, they've got stylists anymore to help really perfect their personal brands, if you will. And a big part of this, with more money, being put on the table for these athletic services, a lot of these athletes, whether they be rising high schoolers, transfers, what have you, these guys are seeking representation. And it's, as we've seen in the past, it was always the shady AAU coaches or the high school coach or the quote unquote camp. This he's got a bad camp feeding him with bad advice. This
is fun as always. Here on this Tuesday, May 9th, the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios. Always fun. There we go. You're back.
I think I figured it out, man. On this app, my phone keeps timing out and it goes to the screensaver. And when it goes to screensaver, it drops audio. Nevertheless, finishing that thought, I think what you're seeing now is that the coaches are finding out that professional agents are a little bit more savvy and a little bit more influential than some of those folks they used to be dealing with in the camps, if you will. And it's just the modern reality. We ask any NBA GM what it's like working with Drew Rosenhaus, for example, or any of the other agents who have notoriously got their clients some pretty hefty contracts. This is probably just the natural evolution of what happens when kids start getting paid. And rightly or wrongly, that's the nature of it. And I would imagine, if you were to take a look back and put this all on a spreadsheet down the road, the kids with proper representation are probably going to end up getting better deals than those that don't. So all power for the kids for finding whatever leverage available to them. But no different than NBA GMs and other administrators at the professional level. Colleges are going to have to figure out how to adapt to this new world, because it's a money game. It always has been. It's just being done above board now. And as we're seeing, some of the kids are employing some pretty big guns in their corners. So you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but at the end of the day, probably what most of us thought NIL was going to lead to. Those that have the resources are going to be the ones that are able to amass the assets. And, there's certainly other intangible resources beside cash that's going to sway these decisions. But for a lot of these kids, the dollar sign, the bottom line number is the one that matters. It's true in my world. It's true in everybody I know in business. And whether or not you want to still consider amateur athletics, it's proving to be very much true in NCAA athletics right now.